Vilgax is easily the most popular Ben 10 villain and one of the most interesting characters. He has appeared in at least 28 episodes and has been the main villain of the show, Ben 10 franchise. In this video, we're going to look into his mysterious origins to his relentless pursuit of the Omnitrix, as we look at the entire story of Vilgax in chronological order from start to finish. So let's get right into it.
The ability to transform at will. The power of that device will be mine.
We are going to start by looking at the early life of Vilgax, followed by a season-by-season character development. Early days. The story of Vilgax commences in the year 1773, when he found himself banished from his home planet due to his ambitious disobedience.
The only reputation I've earned thus far is one of ambitious disobedience, which is why I've been exiled to this armpit of the universe.
His actions defied the norms of his society, resulting in his exile. Eager for power and conquest, Vilgax's yearnings remained unquenched, propelling him on a path that eventually led him to Earth. There, he intercepted a distress signal. Upon arriving on Earth, Vilgax unexpectedly crossed paths with the time-traveling villain known as Maltruant. He was the one that sent the distress signal. This enigmatic figure summoned Vilgax to assist in repairing his damaged transport in exchange for the potent Chronosapien time bomb. This device could manipulate time itself, a tool Vilgax hoped to harness for his nefarious plans, including galaxy-wide conquest. This bomb will become of major importance in the next few minutes. However, fate had other plans. A courageous alliance of historical and futuristic heroes thwarted Vilgax's deal with Maltruant. Among them were George Washington, a renowned historical figure, and a 16-year-old time-traveling hero named Ben Tennyson, who possessed the Omnitrix, allowing him to transform into various alien forms. This encounter exposed Vilgax to the remarkable capabilities of the Omnitrix. As Vilgax observed Ben's transformations, his fascination with the Omnitrix ignited. The prospect of wielding such diverse powers fueled his unrelenting desire to claim the Omnitrix for himself, believing it held the key to his grand ambitions of world domination. Eventually, Vilgax and Maltruant were defeated by a coalition of heroes from different eras. Subsequently, Vilgax journeyed across galaxies for around 180 years, relentlessly seeking the Omnitrix and its creator. In his wake, he conquered multiple galaxies, leaving destruction in his path. Any who dared oppose him met their doom. By the mid-1900s, Vilgax returned to Earth, this time aiming to steal dangerous warheads from a heavily guarded military base. A fierce clash ensued between Vilgax and two plumbers, Max Tennyson and Phil Billings. The plumbers, a law enforcement organization, utilize advanced technology to safeguard the universe from alien threats. During the fight, Max glued Vilgax to a nuclear warhead, sending him back to his ship, momentarily thwarting his plans. The ship exploded, severely damaging Vilgax. Following his devastating encounter with Max Tennyson, Vilgax spent decades recovering and augmenting himself with cybernetic enhancements, evolving into the imposing figure recognized across the galaxy. Max Tennyson joined his list of enemies. At this juncture, Vilgax is driven by three goals: galactic conquest, revenge against Max Tennyson, and obtaining the Omnitrix. And now, we step into the world of Ben 10, where the adventure truly unfolds.
Sending Vilgax out with a bang. And then kablamo. No more Vilgax.
Vilgax in Ben 10 Classic. In the first episode of the Ben 10 series, Vilgax reappears and he continues his pursuit of the Omnitrix. He finds out that the Omnitrix is being carried around by a plumber named Zeline, who happens to be working for the creator of the Omnitrix, named Azimuth. She is given the duty to protect the Omnitrix at all cost. He tracks her down. Vilgax, seeking to recover the Omnitrix, relentlessly pursued Zeline's ship and attacked her, ultimately forcing her to send the Omnitrix towards Earth in a pod to go to Max Tennyson, the plumber that defeated Vilgax some years back. She was under pressure and set the pod to go to Max's DNA, but it missed him and went to the forest nearby. Ben, Max's grandson, found it there and put it on because he was genetically similar enough. In the fierce battle between Vilgax and Xylene's ship, Vilgax's ship is destroyed, and he is left severely wounded, needing to be placed in a repair tank for healing. Xylene's ship crashes in an icy area on Earth, and she remains frozen in a hibernation state for several months. With the Omnitrix on Earth, Vilgax deploys his robotic mechadroid minions to retrieve it, but they are defeated by Ben. Vilgax receives news of their failure and learns that the Omnitrix is now in the hands of a human. The episode concludes with him vowing to destroy the human possessing the Omnitrix.
Unbelievable! The puny Earth being that is keeping the Omnitrix from me will soon hang on my trophy wall.
Throughout the series, Vilgax's unrelenting pursuit of the Omnitrix leads him to discover that it has been taken by someone else. In the episode Hunted, he assembles a team of bounty hunters to retrieve the Omnitrix. These hunters engage in battles with Ben and his family. However, one of the bounty hunters, Tetrax, betrays Vilgax and aids Ben in protecting the Omnitrix. With Tetrax's help, Ben defeats the bounty hunters. Vilgax's determination remains strong, but he acknowledges the need for a formidable opponent. We see Vilgax again in episode 8 titled The Alliance. In this episode, Vilgax deploys advanced tracking drones to locate the Omnitrix. Despite his doubts about the drone's success against the powerful Omnitrix wielder, Vilgax presses on with his mission. On Earth, Ben accidentally causes a commotion at a gas station and encounters a gang led by Rojo. A fight breaks out, and the situation escalates when Vilgax's drones join the fight. Ben, along with Gwen and Max, tries to escape the danger. Max gets injured and they try to get Max medical help. Rojo, the gang's leader, sustains an unexpected mutation when she fuses with the remains of one of Vilgax's drones, turning her into a dangerous cyborg. Vilgax telepathically coerces Rojo into pursuing the Omnitrix further. As Max recovers in the hospital, Ben wrestles with his fears about his family's safety. Despite his intentions to leave to protect them, Rojo tracks the Omnitrix's signal to the hospital and attacks. A tense battle ensues as Ben, Gwen, and Rojo clash throughout the hospital and city. Vilgax's influence continues to loom as he contacts Rojo with threats and demands. As the confrontation intensifies, Rojo's destructive abilities pose a significant threat. The Tennysons devise strategies to outsmart her, with Ben using Upgrade to merge with her technological body. During this encounter, Ben unexpectedly connects with Vilgax through the Omnitrix, experiencing a chilling warning. Despite Rojo's attempts to manipulate the situation, she is defeated with teamwork and strategy. The episode concludes with Max's recovery, a sense of unity among the Tennysons, and a lingering sense of foreboding as Vilgax regenerates on his ship. Vilgax's presence and influence throughout the episode highlight the ongoing danger he poses to Ben and his allies. In Season 1, Episode 13, titled Secrets, Vilgax's determination knew no bounds, and eventually, he underwent a significant transformation. His body was repaired and augmented with cybernetic enhancements, rendering him even taller and more powerful than before. Tired of relying on underlings, he personally ventured to Earth to retrieve the Omnitrix. During a confrontation with Ben, Vilgax's newfound strength proved overwhelming, leading to Ben's capture. However, he was surprised to discover that the source of his troubles was just a human child, albeit one with access to extraordinary alien powers.
The Omnitrix is in the hands of a mere child?
Undeterred, Vilgax unveiled his plan to extract the Omnitrix from Ben, setting the stage for a dramatic battle with profound consequences. In the aftermath of a colossal explosion on his ship, Vilgax was presumed dead, but his survival was revealed as he managed to teleport out of his vessel just in time. He teleported himself into outer space where he froze due to the very low temperatures out there. In Season 2, Episode 13, Vilgax makes another comeback with the help of Kevin Levin. Kevin Levin, and another enemy of Ben, wants to destroy Ben and get the Omnitrix. To achieve this, he goes looking for Vilgax, hoping they could team up. Kevin found Vilgax floating in space, encased in ice. He found Vilgax frozen in ice and rescued him. They formed an alliance to once again attempt to retrieve the coveted Omnitrix. They collectively attacked Ben and managed to get the Omnitrix away from Ben momentarily. Unfortunately, their scheme went awry, leading to both Vilgax and Kevin being imprisoned in the Null Void. However, fortune favored Vilgax as he managed to escape the Null Void, likely through a portal. This sets him on yet another path of vengeance and ambition. After that, Vilgax appeared in the Season 4 special movie titled Secret of the Omnitrix. Vilgax's unwavering quest to control the Omnitrix persisted in the movie Ben 10, Secret of the Omnitrix. Here, it was revealed that he had a dark history, and his grudge against Ben intensified after being trapped in the Null Void. Despite the universe's perilous fate, he remained fixated on obtaining the Omnitrix, and in a dramatic showdown on Tetrax's ship, he faced Ben once again. The movie starts with Ben, Gwen, and Max facing the threat of a DNA bomb created by Dr. Animo. Ben's transformations are showcased as he fights against Animo's creations. Ben succeeds in thwarting the bomb, but it releases an energy wave that affects the Omnitrix, leading to its self-destruct mode, SDM activation. Tetrax Shard, an old ally, shows up once again and informs them about the self-destruct mode, and that only Azimuth, the Omnitrix's creator, can stop it. They embark on a journey to find Azimuth, encountering challenges and battles along the way, with Vilgax and his forces also pursuing the Omnitrix. Upon reaching Xenon, Azimuth's lair, they find it overrun by wild Florana. They eventually reach Azimuth's sanctum and demand him to deactivate the self-destruct mode. Azimuth, initially uncooperative, is convinced by Ben's plea and turns off the countdown. The group faces off against Vilgax and his forces, leading to a climactic battle. During the battle, Azimuth unlocks a new alien for Ben called Way Big.
I'm back in the alien hero business!
Here, try this alien on for size.
Ben transforms into Way Big, a powerful transformation, to defeat Vilgax and his army. Vilgax is thrown into space by Way Big. After the battle, Azimuth reveals his true motives and offers Ben the chance to keep the Omnitrix. The movie ends with the Tennysons returning to Earth and preparing to face new challenges. Vilgax in Alien Force, making his return in Vengeance of Vilgax, Part 1 and Part 2. Vilgax's reappearance is marked by a new transformation, appearing with fewer cybernetic enhancements and his mouth visible. Accompanied by his ally Siphon, he persists in his quest for the Omnitrix. He uses a twisted interpretation of galactic law to justify his invasions, challenging and defeating champions to claim the right to conquer planets. Subjugating 10 planets, including Ultimos's homeworld, he absorbs Ultimos's powers with Siphon's help, gaining new abilities. Vilgax's strategy involves using Max Tennyson and the Plumber's Kids as messengers to convey an ultimatum to Ben. Under the pretense of Galactic Code, he challenges Ben to a battle, threatening Earth's destruction. A confrontation ensues, leading to Vilgax's defeat. Forced to abide by the laws he manipulated, he leaves Earth, vowing revenge.
But know this, Ben Tennyson. I will have my vengeance upon you.
Sure thing. Get out of here.
After getting defeated by Ben, Vilgax goes back to his home world and comes up with a new plan. This time around, he plans or working with Ghost Freak. In Season 3, Episode 10, titled Ghost Town, Vilgax sought to gain the secrets of the Omnitrix from the treacherous Ghost Freak. But Ghost Freak ended up betraying Vilgax, resulting in an invasion of Vilgaxia by Ghost Freak, who possessed the majority of its inhabitants as ecto-neurite slaves. After futilely attempting to repel the invasion, Vilgax reluctantly sought help from Ben's team. Following an uneasy alliance, they confronted Ghost Freak, leading to a chaotic battle between Ben, Vilgax, and Ghost Freak within Ben's own body. Vilgax eventually aided in weakening Ghost Freak, allowing Ben to regain control and defeat the malevolent ghost. At the end of the episode, Vilgax makes it clear that he still intended on getting the Omnitrix in the future.
Now that the secrets of the Omnitrix are mine, and there are none left to stop me, I'd say it's a rather auspicious beginning.
In Season 3, Episode 14, titled Primus, Vilgax launched an attack on the planet of Primus, causing the Omnitrix to teleport Ben, Gwen, and Kevin to the world. After arriving on Primus, the Omnitrix detached itself from Ben flew away to Azimuth. At this point, Vilgax gets tired of getting defeated by Ben, and he decides to use a different approach to getting the Omnitrix. He decides to go after the creator of the Omnitrix so that he can force him to make another one for him. Vilgax goes to Primus, where he faced Asmuth, the creator of the Omnitrix, who wielded the device himself to protect Primus. Vilgax managed to overpower Asmuth and seize the Omnitrix, but his lack of familiarity with its recalibrated functions led him to seek information from Ben in exchange for sparing the lives of his friends. In a climactic battle, Ben trapped Vilgax in an immobile state as the alien goo, allowing Ben to reclaim the Omnitrix and ultimately thwart his plans. Ben turns into Way Big and throws Vilgax into space once again, making the end of the episode. The hunt for power and revenge brought Vilgax to Petropia in an episode titled The Secret of Chromastone. In this episode, Vilgax destroyed the homeworld of Tetrax, named Petropia, and its inhabitants. Tetrax was able to work with Ben and Chromastone to restore Petropia using a crystal that was a part of Chromastone. Vilgax wanted the power of the same crystal for himself, but Ben and Tetrax were not willing to give it to him, resulting in a major battle. Vilgax ruthlessly beat the Guardian of the Crystal, Sujalite, or Chromastone, but was eventually confronted by Ben's team and Tetrax Shard. Despite the setbacks, Vilgax's tenacity persisted, and he vowed to seek revenge on Ben, leaving his mark as a relentless adversary. In the series finale, The Final Battle, Vilgax formed a temporary alliance with Albedo, aiming to eliminate Ben and seize the Omnitrix for himself. The cunning plan succeeded in capturing Ben, but the hero managed to escape with the aid of Max. Vilgax, however, betrayed Albedo and took him captive, intending to utilize the Omnitrix's powers to create an army of bioids. Ben confronted Vilgax once more and threatened to activate the Omnitrix's self-destruct mode. Despite Vilgax's initial dismissive attitude, the destruction of the Omnitrix seemed imminent. Ben destroyed the Omnitrix and then got the Ultimatrix from Albedo, using it to fight Vilgax. During their fight, they crash-landed into the ocean. As a result, Vilgax underwent a transformation into a monstrous, octopus-like creature seeking to consume Ben. Nevertheless, Ben escaped, and the final battle ensued, with Vilgax ultimately left behind as his ship exploded. But Ben knew that Vilgax's tenacity meant his return was always a possibility, leaving a lingering threat in the cosmos. Vilgax in Ultimate Alien. Vilgax's surprising return occurs in Ultimate Alien Season Episode 16, titled The Flamekeeper's Circle. After surviving the explosive events of his last confrontation with Ben, he finds himself in a weakened state, unable to revert to his usual form. Stranded and vulnerable, Vilgax is discovered by humans who exploit his situation and display him as an attraction in a traveling carnival. However, Vilgax uses this opportunity to gradually regain his strength until a group of financialists liberates him. The Flamekeeper's Circle, a cult-like organization, misinterprets Vilgax's squid-like appearance as that of a legendary alien called Dagon, a being of wisdom, knowledge, and power. Guided by their prophecies, the group begins to worship Vilgax, hoping he will bring about a golden age of prosperity through the use of alien technology. Ben goes to the circus with his friends and learns of Vilgax's survival and manipulation of the Flamekeeper's Circle. Together with his allies, Gwen and Kevin, he aims to expose Vilgax's true identity and thwart his plans to reclaim his empire. Vilgax's determination leads him to seek Dagon's heart, a powerful artifact that can restore his strength. In a fierce battle between the Flamekeepers and the Forever Knights, Vilgax regains his original form after he acquires powers from the heart of Dagon, donning knight armor in the process. This also enables Vilgax to return to his normal form. The story continues in the next episode titled A Night to Remember. Vilgax continues his relentless pursuit of power, using Dagon's heart to strengthen himself. He becomes a powerful force, attacking the seal containing the Dagon, an ancient and malevolent creature. As the battle escalates, Ben and his team strive to stop Vilgax, but the Conqueror proves too formidable. Eventually, Vilgax gets drawn into Dagon's dimension after breaking the seal, leaving behind his armor and sword. 2 weeks later, in an episode titled The Beginning of the End, Vilgax re-emerges as the Herald of Dagon, empowered by the malevolent entity in the alternate dimension. He battles Ben, George, and their allies in a fierce confrontation. Keep in mind that George is an immortal knight who removed the heart of Dagon centuries ago and imprisoned him. Vilgax's insatiable desire for power drives him to assist Dagon in his malevolent plans to transform every living being on Earth into esoterica, who are basically ninja-like warriors of Dagon. Ben and his team struggle to thwart the cataclysmic events unfolding, but Vilgax remains relentless in his pursuit of supremacy. In the end, Vilgax manages to open a path to another dimension. The story continues in The Ultimate Enemy, Part 1, Part 2, Inches. Dagon gives Vilgax more powers so that Vilgax can prepare for the coming of Dagon and also free him from his prison. Dagon is eventually freed. This leads to a climactic battle, and during this battle, George gets killed by Dagon. Eventually, Vilgax betrays Dagon and absorbs his powers through the machine, becoming an incredibly formidable opponent. This makes Vilgax more powerful than ever, and he also becomes the new Dagon.
The Esoterica worshipped me because I looked like Dagon. Now I am the Dagon.
Ultimately, Vilgax faces off against Ben in an epic duel, where Ben wields Ascalon, a powerful weapon capable of sealing away Dagon. The intense battle ends with Ben taking away the powers of Dagon from Vilgax with the Ascalon and freeing Earth from its malevolent influence. Vilgax's thirst for power is finally quenched, and he is defeated, returning to his original form after losing the stolen powers. The power which he obtained from others that he defeated, such as Ultimos, is also returned. Despite his numerous attempts to conquer and dominate, Vilgax is once again thwarted by Ben and his allies, marking the end of another epic chapter in their ongoing struggle. Nevertheless, as Vilgax's relentless nature suggests, he always finds a way to return, always lurking in the shadows as a constant threat to the universe and to Ben Tennyson. In the end, Vilgax gets arrested by the plumbers. Vilgax in Omniverse. Vilgax makes a major return in Ben 10 Omniverse with a slightly new appearance. In Season 3, Episode 4, titled Vilgax Must Croak, Vilgax makes a dramatic return, this time as a prisoner being escorted by Ben and Rook to the Encarsican prison in the Null Void. However, they face a relentless attack from Atea and her mercenary thugs, 6-6, 7-7, and 8-8, who are seeking to kill Vilgax. Vilgax is restrained by shock manacles to keep him contained during most of the transit. He takes pleasure in taunting Ben, mocking him for not having the nerve to finish him off in their previous encounters. Vilgax manipulates Ben into releasing the shackles so they can fight Atea together. However, he betrays Ben and attempts to escape, only to be recaptured and forced to continue the journey with Ben. During a standoff with their enemies and the plumbers, Vilgax saves Ben from Atea's attack, but he seems unsure why he did it. Later, Vilgax manages to break free from the shock manacles and knocks out Ben from behind, seizing the opportunity to escape in an escape pod. We get to see Vilgax again in the episode titled Ben Géance is Mine. This episode introduces Vilgax, a human plumber who bears an uncanny resemblance to Vilgax. He unintentionally activates a hidden device left by Vilgax as a vengeance plan against Ben. The device unleashes an army of squid monsters under Siphon's control, wreaking havoc in Bellwood. Ben, Rook, and Vilgax, disguised as Vilgax using an ID mask, join forces to stop the monsters and prevent Vilgax's vengeful plot from succeeding. In this episode, the actual Vilgax only appeared in hologram form.
Ben Tennyson has thwarted me once too often.
Remember that in the year 1773, Vilgax helped Maltruant, and in return, Vilgax was given a chronosepian time bomb. That bomb becomes of major importance in Omniverse Season 6, Episode 1, titled, And Then There Were None. Vilgax teams up with Eon to eliminate every version of Ben from alternate realities. He recruits evil Bens from different timelines as his agents. Vilgax confronts No Watch Ben and Ben Prime, seeing them as a potential threat to their plans. During the ensuing battle between multiple Bens, Vilgax activates a chronosapian time bomb, intending to erase all versions of Ben, leaving only No Watch Ben, adding another betray to Vilgax's record. Professor Paradox intervenes and saves No Watch Ben, taking him to a pocket dimension. The story continues in the next episode titled, "And Then There Was Ben." Vilgax reappears when No Watch Ben and Paradox go back in time to the beginning of it all. In an effort to reboot the Prime timeline, No Watch Ben disables Vilgax's ship defenses as gray matter, leading to Vilgax being mortally injured. Vilgax is eventually defeated by the combined efforts of multiple Bens from various timelines, including No Watch Ben. He's taken into custody by alternate Max and their plumbers, but later escapes and returns to the main timeline. In Universe vs. Tennyson, Vilgax excitedly watches Ben's trial from his ship. In Vreedlemania, Vilgax returns seeking revenge on Ben, but he retreats upon encountering Ma Vreedle. Vilgax gets scared off by Ma Vreedle, but promises to come back and face Ben again. Vilgax makes another appearance in Ben 10 Omniverse Season 8 Episode 7 titled Malgax Attacks. In this episode, Vilgax and Albedo collaborate once more against Ben Tennyson. The episode starts with Ben becoming annoyed with Skurd, the slime biote living on the Omnitrix, and seeks help from Azimuth to remove him. Meanwhile, Vilgax and Albedo steal Malware's remains from the Galvan Historical Museum. Azimuth successfully removes Skurd, but Vilgax and Albedo launch an attack on Galvan Prime with Vilgax now wearing a Malware-powered battle armor. Ben, Max, and Azimuth team up to face the villains and the attack drones. Azimuth disables Albedo's Ultimatrix, but Vilgax proves to be a formidable opponent for Ben. However, with Skurd's help, Ben gains the upper hand by gaining the ability to use multiple alien powers at once and defeats Vilgax. Vilgax's ship starts to melt down, and he ends up blowing up with it after being transformed into a giant rock formation. In the end, Albedo is arrested and is left to clean up the mess he caused, and Vilgax is severely injured and petrified. Malware's remains begin to ooze out of Vilgax's petrified body, setting up potential trouble for the future. We hear about Vilgax for the last time in the future, in the ultimate alien episode titled Ben 10,000 Returns. In this episode, future Ben 1000 reveals that Vilgax is still alive and will eventually return to continue his quest for power and domination.